watching the number one podcast in the whole entire wrestling community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Sean Paul Leek.
Together we are
Robre.
How's every single one of you, family? Happy Friday. It's time to talk about SmackDown. And the show quality is going a little low now. It's starting to lose its momentum. The main thing with Roman Reigns, of course, that's the only thing that holds the show together. Edge is out. Of course, we know that, it's not really injury, but, that was another good thing. But, the road for Extreme Rules is a little rocky right now. A lot of things, that could have been potentially good are not. But let's hear it from Paul. Let's hear his thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot on this show was bad. Some stuff, it was decent, but maybe the promos went on too long or the matches went on too long. And it's just, some of this stuff I really couldn't get into. And, Roman Reigns is always the thing that carries this show. But now we see Roman Reigns is feuding with Big E, 2 months before Survivor Series. So I don't understand this. What is the point of this? While also still feuding with Brock Lesnar and feuding with Finn Balor, the Demon. So, we did see some good stuff with that. But again, the inclusion of Big E, I don't know why you didn't say this for Survivor Series. So, overall, I would say I have to give a thumbs down, but there were some decent parts in the show.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Thank you so very much for every single one of you that is watching the show. Here we keep it real, but we know how we keep it real. So thank you again. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and give the video a like. Don't forget to support us in the other videos we do. We cover most shows in the wrestling world. Right there we have the NXT UK review, and the dominance continues because Pretty Deadly are still our NXT UK Tag Team Champions. A pretty great match, with Gallus. And tell me, Paul.
Yeah, do you like a little spilt milk in your coffee, brothers?
That's right.
Because Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, they couldn't get the job done. Gallus, Pretty Deadly wins, in a really good match. Like you said, there's a couple times in this match you really thought, maybe there'd be an upset, and that's how you sell a good match. And other than that, we saw a Heritage Cup match. Kenny Williams, Noam Dar advances to the finals. Some good stuff there. Hopefully we see him and Teoman. So again, really good stuff on NXT UK. And the only thing confusing, we said what's going on with Blair Davenport, but at least it's interesting. We're intrigued. Want to see where they're going with that.
It's very intriguing, but confusing at the same time. So please check it out. It's in the page. Just all the reviews right there. So please help us out. Give them more likes, more subscriptions. We love it. Thank you, every single one of you. This was made official today, October 21st. Universal Championship match, Crown Jewel. Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead. So why? Because already you're telling me that Finn Balor is gonna lose. Why? Not even in the graphic. Wouldn't you feel better if you put if Roman Reigns wins, or at least you put Finn Balor right next to Roman Reigns? It's whoever wins that match goes against Brock Lesnar.
It should be. They should have sold this feud on the title, but also just it doesn't matter if it's the title or not. Lesnar just wants to kick Roman's ass. So then it could have been if Roman wins, the title's on the line. But if Finn Balor wins, it's just a singles match between these two guys. It should have been if, some kind, you phrase it like that, or, do something to pretty much not bury the Demon match, to pretty much say that, he's not going to win. Or like you said, show Finn Balor. It'll be Finn Balor or Roman Reigns will go against Brock Lesnar, but nobody wants to see the Demon versus Brock Lesnar. So, of course, you're not going to market that.
This completely buried. Nobody's in. If everybody says spoiler alert, they gave a spoiler alert because no one ever mentioned if Finn Balor wins, then the match can change. No, they gave us the same stuff. So what am I supposed to believe that Balor has a chance?
Yeah, this is done.
No, completely dumb. No, out of come on, WWE, you need to give me at least stories that are gonna make me believe that the opponent has a little chance to become champion. Because I'm not going to watch a pay-per-view with that premise that Finn Balor is just going to come out with a demon to be defeated by Roman Reigns. And Paul Heyman said the same thing. He said that Brock Lesnar is actually scared of the tribal chief and all of this. And all of a sudden, like you said, why is this Big E on this show? Big E comes out, I'm completely checked out. Thank you very much. I don't want to see this. Already Survivor Series build. I understand that Big E is the champion. Hey, a lot of people love it. Good for you. But I don't think that is needed on this show.
No, and what does, you deserve a chance. Okay, this, and Big E, he never feels serious. It's just one of those things where, even when he does cut a serious promo, you just know it's not going to be serious. You know it's not going to last. He's going to go back to being goofy. And to me, Roman Reigns always brings the best out of people.
Yes.
But I don't know if he can do it here with Big E. I don't know if him, especially with what we're going to see next week. After a beatdown segment later on. It's going to see the New Day involved on Monday Night Raw. So I don't think that's going to be good. But take us through eventually how do we got to this tag match.
So, but I think Balor comes out, and we remember you said that like it felt like main roster yesterday on NXT UK. Well, they always have to feel main roster in the SmackDown. So of course they made it like a tag team match, Finn Balor and Big E, and against the tag team champions, the Usos. So this was like, I'm thinking, you're gonna protect the Usos now because of course Finn Balor and Big E won. They do followed the finishers on the Usos. Shouldn't they be number one contenders then? If we go by the logic that, like, if you beat the champion, you become number one contender, right? I mean,
you would think.
Yeah. Then, they got the win. And this, to me, like I said, this buries the Usos. Not completely, but, they shouldn't be being, like, get a loss at the expense of these guys because Big E doesn't need to be on SmackDown. He needs to be on Monday Night Raw. Finn Balor, like, it should be feuding completely with Roman, not with the Usos. But that's what we have. I don't know if it adds anything to the story. Later on we saw like, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman talking about it, and he's like, don't you have anything to tell me? So you see that Roman is not completely all sold in Paul Heyman anymore. And Paul Heyman created this all far-fetched narrative saying that, Brock Lesnar is afraid of Roman, like all of, he wants you to think that I'm against you, but I'm all in you, all of those things. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this was a great promo by Heyman. Like you said, he grovels. He's like, oh, no, he's scared. I've never seen him scared before in his life. Not when he was in the octagon, nothing. He fears the tribal chief. That's why, he's acting the way he is, and, he's groveling and everything. And like you said, Roman kind of just looks at him. But you can tell he doesn't believe him. He doesn't believe Paul for a second. He takes everything at face value. Like, I'm not gonna, look into this. I gotta watch you. I gotta keep one eye on you at all times.
And he does say also, I remember he says, it's like, is he gonna be a streamer? He's like, I guess. I don't know. It's like, no, I'm not paying you to guess. I'm paying you to tell me that he's gonna be there.
Yeah,
so like,
pretty much, because Heyman would always say, his tagline would always be like, oh, that's a spoiler. He'd always give the spoiler. So Roman's like, I don't want a maybe. He's like, I want the spoiler. Like, is he going to be there or not?
I want the fact. Yeah. I don't need like your guesses. So there you go. That was like, I mean, like you said, this is the best thing that SmackDown has. The best and only thing that SmackDown has. Because they give us this, right? Rick Boogs against Bobby Roode. And I don't understand why Shinsuke Nakamura is like the main act when they come out. But then Rick gets all the matches and everything. I just don't understand that. And of course, in this match, Bobby Roode, he had the audacity to say "glorious" when he was about to hit the DDT. What's glorious about Bobby Roode?
Yeah, Bobby Roode is. I mean, I literally forget he exists until I see him on TV on Friday, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Bobby Roode. He used to be badass, and then he loses, to Rick Boogs. So it's like, whatever. To me, he's the same thing as Dolph Ziggler. I'm sure you have had at least one, if not more, opportunities to leave. You chose to stay here, so you reap what you sow. If you wanted to leave and, be presented legit, go back to Impact, go anywhere else, you could have, but you chose to stay here, so you get what you get. And then, like you see this, speaking of get what we get, if we choose to keep watching SmackDown, we're going to keep getting garbage because Commander Aziz comes out, takes out Nakamura, everything. Apollo Crews is like, you're a bullshit Intercontinental Champion. You disgrace the belt, this and that. So this is going to be the feud because they don't have anybody else lined up because, you couldn't have Kevin Owens go after him. You couldn't have Cesaro. You couldn't, why couldn't you get all these guys ready for Nakamura for legit feuds? No, we have to go back to Apollo.
And get McAfee. Seems like he loves to dance with them. Get McAfee. Give them like a match or something. Like you exactly said it. Next week, Intercontinental Championship. If he wins that title again, what was the point of giving it to Nakamura? I don't get it.
No, I think Nakamura. I think Nakamura is going to retain. But I mean, it's just such a shit feud. WWE right now, I feel it's like the land of rematch. Remember when we said rematch mania for the one pay-per-view? This is, if it's not a rematch from week to week, it's a rematch from 3-4 weeks ago. Yeah, it's like we just saw this. And then what we're going to see with Seth Rollins in a little bit, another rematch and another, rematch. Becky Lynch and Bianca. It's like everything is a rematch. Nothing is exciting. Nothing's fresh or
exciting. You're absolutely right. So like you wanted Seth Rollins, let's talk about Seth Rollins. He's going to just talk pretty lengthy promo.
Too long.
I didn't, like you said, like he grabbed me for what, the first 3 minutes, but then the other 10,000 that he went into, no, and all the way like till the end. Even I don't know if he forgot about it. I don't know if he was making it up. I don't know if he was trying to improvise here. But the main thing that he just said is like how bad he feels at the beginning of what happened to Edge, and then he goes, "Well, I'm gonna keep destroying you. Like it's gonna stay in my head what I did to you. So I need to really wipe you out, completely destroy you, completely eliminate you." So it's like he wants another match, like you said. When he comes back, he wants one more dance. So like you said, I'm not in for it. After the 2 matches, I don't want to see this.
This
telling me you
promo,
don't have anything for him.
this promo felt like it went on literally forever.
Yes.
And it could have been summed up real quick. He could have came out, like you said, in the beginning, could have been like, when I saw Edge, on the stretcher, I didn't know how I felt. I was shocked. I had to go home, and really think about it. And then I thought about it. I was so upset. And I was upset because I didn't finish the job going to it. I wanted to kill him. He should have died in this ring. Beth said he's at home relaxing, resting up. No, that's when and then we went to the line where I'm going to come to your house and beat you up, in your own home and stuff. I mean, some of the lines were good. It was like, man, this guy's unhinged. But when it's in a 10-minute promo, you lose all of it. It should have been boom, 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 to the point, and said like, we're going to do this one more time. I'm going to finish the job. And you're thinking, okay, at Extreme Rules, because what other kind of pay-per-view? Because this is really the only feud that's leading to an Extreme Rules match, I would think.
You're right. Out of all the matches, this should be the one that like is actually Extreme Rules, because you got the weapons, you have the toys, you have like more elements to make it like the rivalry more violent, more gruesome, more gory. But no, and then of course we know that actually Edge is going to be taking time off because of the neck, all of those things. Like he really has to take care of take some time off every single match.
But we'll see. I mean, so he's not doing this match?
I think when he comes back. He's like, they said like 2 or 3 months. I saw a report he's taking time off. And I mean, if he comes back from before that, maybe they're convincing him.
Because I think that he's gonna have a match at Extreme Rules, and then he'll take the time off. He'll beat Rollins, but it'll be like, oh, the match was so like legit up, but I'm done. You got to give me 2 months and then come back.
Probably, but like as of now, I don't see that match being on the card. We'll see. We have one more week. Hey, they could easily add that, but like let's talk about something untalkable, not needed, unnecessary to talk. Is right here. Kevin Owens is all like a happy Corbin. Yeah, like I don't want to mention him. He sucks. All of that. All right, I want to have a rivalry. Yeah, my contract is up really soon. AEW, he's counting the days. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, look at him. He's counting them right there on his finger.
Yes, exactly. Like, how many months do I have? How many weeks? And Happy Corbin. Like it's before even the matches started. There you go. Attack, and of course, Happy Corbin is like in the done. Exactly. Does this guy like hates to wrestle in like wrestling attires? Is that what it is? Because
this is awful. I feel like the fact that it's like it wasn't that Kevin Owens came out, had this match, and he beats him in 30 seconds. So stunner 1, 2, 3. Oh, Kevin Owens looks legit. Maybe we're gonna present Kevin Owens badass. Do you want to re-sign with us, Kevin? No, they don't care. They're like, we're gonna make this guy look like an absolute piece of shit before he leaves in January.
Yes, no, I agree with you. I'm not gonna say anything else because that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Do you have a way to keep the guy? No, you don't want to keep the guy. And if he leaves to AEW, why should we feel bad for WWE?
Like I said, feud with Nakamura. Kevin Owens could be so pissed off. I had to deal with Corbin. I had to deal with this. That's how you turn him heel. I'm so pissed off. I'm frustrated. And then boom, heel.
I was IC champion before. I can be IC champion one more time. Yeah, absolutely right. So let's go to Paul Heyman and Caleb Braxton. These two have good chemistry. I like the stuff between them. And Paul Heyman really lost it this time. It's like, leave me alone. You keep asking for updates. I don't want to. I don't want to give any.
And then he's like, "Why are you obsessed with me?" It's almost like he's like, "I won't go out with you. Like I won't bang you." And I'm like, "No, Paul. I don't think that's what she's after."
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, Paul, don't even mention those words because how careful you have to be nowadays in this kind of world that we live in.
Remember, Paul. Paul, as a man, you're not allowed to bang a woman. Remember?
Yes,
that.
Exactly. Yes,
not in this world anymore.
Here with Robert, you can say there's no repercussions of that. Exactly. And at the end, he finishes with like, "Leave me alone." Like you said, it's like completely out, but nothing else was said. But then he turns around and in the same freaking way of last week, the same freaking thing. Oh, he starts serious. But he's like, oh, yeah. So it's like, oh, he mentions. And I love what he said. I love Paul Heyman says, I'm glad that you cashed in on Lashley because if you would have tried to do it on Roman, you would have never been able to become champion. And I like that because that's how we all feel and we all know it.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns will never lose that title, especially on a cash-in Money in the Bank. They would never do that. So I like that when then he goes, well, I don't know if he's going to be facing Roman at Survivor Series, Finn Balor, or Brock Lesnar. So this was good. And also that the post attack by like the Bloodline, I'm loving this a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know if they mentioned it already at this point. I think they did something about the that they mentioned a couple times the WWE draft is coming up. And they said, oh, Brock Lesnar might get drafted to Monday Night Raw. He could, if Raw goes first, you got to think whoever picks first is either going to pick Brock Lesnar or they're going to pick Roman Reigns. Even though Big E's WWE champ, he's probably going to be third. You got to think that's how it's going to go.
Thank you.
So it's like, Brock Lesnar might go to Monday Night Raw. So then you got to think, okay, SmackDown drafts Roman Reigns, then obviously Raw will draft Big E. So, they keep the same champions. Is Brock Lesnar going to beat another member of the New Day to reclaim the WWE Championship?
Fine. Please, Brock Lesnar, do it.
Should it be 15 seconds instead of 14?
Nah, probably, it will be 16 and a half. It's big.
Okay.
It's a lot bigger, Yeah. It doesn't matter.
No, how about we'll double it? 28 seconds.
Yeah, 28. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, this is, it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like the match, you shouldn't do it at Crown Jewel, even though Crown Jewel, like they act, they promote it, but they almost act like it doesn't happen at the same time because it's not really connected to the storyline. You shouldn't do it at Crown Jewel. You shouldn't do these bullshit Crown Jewel shows to begin with, especially still with COVID numbers going up and everything. But anyway, you should save this for Survivor Series. Hint at this, build this feud, have them. It's like, Lesnar wants the match, but Roman says, no, I got to deal with Finn Balor. Now he's got to deal with Big E, all this stuff. It should eventually lead to the match in Survivor Series where Lesnar beats Big E. And it's like, now you have to fight me because that's the match at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they will have to do something different, like you said, like Crown
because
Jewel.
Because then at that, both guys have a belt. Heyman could be like, shit, whoever wins this match, I'll just side with the winner.
Yeah, yeah, and you put Heyman in that, like, in jeopardy. You put him in that, like, question.
I mean, they still have time to do it. That storyline is still plausible, but I mean, to me, I think that would be the most interesting and the most exciting.
Yeah, and then, like you said,
it would suck. It would suck for Big E, but then, I mean, to me, after you do that Survivor Series feud with Lesnar and Roman, then you have Lesnar versus Lashley for the championship,
and that's what everybody wants to see. And
exactly, that's what I mean. That's how you build.
He was champion already. He can say that. Fine. And that's it. Oh yeah, Kofi was champion. He lost it in 15 seconds. Like, do we actually remember all the Kofi's feuds? Probably not.
No.
Maybe you and me know because we did Raw break back then. But that's why the only reason we know.
Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler. Yeah.
And Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was beaten by Kofi Kingston. Just keep that thought on. But anyway, let's move on to like Becky Lynch. She just says that, like, of course.
Well, Samoa Joe was also beaten by Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon and all them.
Oh yeah. Let's fake an injury, right?
Yeah.
Let's fake. Yeah, you're injured. Yeah. From now on, let's pretend you're injured. Yeah. You are injured, right? Yeah. I feel fine. You are injured. You are injured. So, like, right, Becky? Yeah. He's injured, and she says that, like, this is gonna be Bianca's, like, homecoming. She's in her hometown, and that's why, like, she says, well, it's her night. It's all legit, but hey, I might just stop by and give it a look. So, like, kind of every week is becoming a better heel. I think that, like, the heat is starting to be, like, in small doses, but at least we believe that, like, she's trying to really act like, really mean and be heelish, all of that. So I'm liking this Becky Lynch. It's fine. I mean, it could be a little more, to the extreme, but for the now it's fine, I think.
Yeah, I like Becky Lynch. I would really like to see her. I mean, we see a little bit of it, glimpses of it, but I really would like to see her get real fired up, like when she was the man as a baby face, just, super fired up, yelling, screaming, but not like a crazy person. Just, it was believable and it was legit. I want to see that kind of fire, with her as a heel. Maybe leading into this match with the, at Extreme Rules, we'll see it. But, this is pretty good. Again, it's just kind of the thing that they did with, which we'll get to in the main event. It was kind of corny, kind of nerdy. I didn't really like it.
Yeah, we will get that into. But remember, next week we're going to see also like a Monday Night Raw 6-man tag and like the New Day against the Bloodline already. And this is you have to. I need your thoughts on this. I'm not going to force you to think like me, but this is because of the AEW effect. They're losing. Is the second week in a row that they lose in ratings. And, of course, they have to pull big guns now, and they have to bring Roman Reigns. So
I agree. I agree. That's why, because why won't, again, you have a pay-per-view coming up in 2 months. Now, I know 2 months is a long time for them to book shows because they're awful at booking, shows week to week, let alone, for 2 months. But, they couldn't save this for Survivor Series when it would have made sense. Instead of doing Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, screw it. You can just do these two teams, or you can still do Raw and SmackDown, but also do this Survivor Series match. You can have two, and how about this? Don't have one for the women. But see, then everyone would get upset. So, that's a whole can of worms.
The cancel culture.
Yeah, so I mean, this is, it's dumb, but no, it's all done because of ratings. Because everybody loves Big E as champ. Everybody loves the things Roman and Heyman are doing, so they're gonna want to see this.
Yes, exactly. So let's go to this was awful. This was just awful. Like they would have done this, and I understand why they didn't.
Tony, why does Tony Storm look like a pirate? Doesn't she look like a pirate with those pants on?
No, yeah. Again, and Tony completely lost in the shuffle. Like she's just stuck into this thing, and again, that's why they didn't do it last week. Because if you would have done this last week, right? This would have damaged the whole show. This would have destroyed the whole show, the mood and everything. We're gonna have a tag match, and in the end, the heel started to dominate. But then all of a sudden, we just Liv Morgan does a move and sends Carmella into the turnbuckle, and then she broke my nose, all of that. And she leaves the match, and then Liv challenged her for a match on the Stream Rules. She said that she's gonna destroy her outside because she's as bad as the inside. All of that. Then Carmella accepts the match. Absolutely.
If this is not on the pre-show and this is on the actual main card, then WWE deserves all the bad ratings and everything they get.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no. I say push Liv Morgan, let her have a title shot at a pay-per-view. Let her, have that opportunity to be like, hey, look, I challenge for the women's championship at a pay-per-view. But, her against Carmella. Carmella, we've seen some. Remember when Carmella was going to challenge Bianca and then they booed the shit out of her until Becky Lynch came out? That's going to be the same thing with Carmella. Everybody's so sick of seeing her. So, nobody wants to see her. Liv Morgan's not that, Liv Morgan's all right in the ring. Promo to me is still awful. So, I mean, to me, this, it's not good. It's not, it's not something I can care about.
It's not worthy of the word extreme.
And if it's not on the pre-show, like I said, just awful.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Yep. And now let's gonna hear a little bit of Finn Balor. This was good. This was good. Pretty convincing promo of Finn Balor, kind of differentiating himself as the man and the demon. He said, I don't come from a bloodline. I come my parents were just construct workers and everything. I don't have that lineage that you have. But in the end, you know what? I had to find my way to get to become the man that I am right now. I won titles. I'm Finn Balor, NXT champion. I was the prince, all of that. But it's that's not who's coming after you. That's not who's going to become the Universal Championship. No, that's not who's going to be jabbed out. No, it's going to be this guy. So, pretty convincing promo. I love this, but are they going to do all of this to make him lose to Roman? Then no, thank you. Don't even do this, because this to me just signifies that he's going to become champion. But I know that it's just done to just hype the feud, but you already gave me this, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's the one thing where you got to think it's man, that would be so badass. The demon would get over because it's who's ever beaten Roman? No one. He's been champion for how long? Over a year now, I think, right?
Yeah, no, it's more than a year.
Yeah, over a year. So it's it's the guy is, the best things that WWE has had in a long time, like you said, untouchable. So for Balor to beat him, the demon would be bad. I don't like how they keep calling it his alter ego. It's no, it's this demon inside him. Don't be his alter ego. He's he puts on a mask and he's oh no, legit, no.
It's Marshall Manners and Eminem.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, to me, that would be badass if he would win. I don't think he's going to, but then to me, you build him up, he loses. It's the same thing as Cesaro. Down, done.
Yeah, no, that's what's gonna happen. You just said it. And then all the way back in the shuffle, go back to NXT, go to NXT UK, face Walter, then be legit. Because main roster, you don't have a shot to ever be the main guy. Go with Andrade, they were having dinner the other day, with Charlotte also. So there you go, AEW bound. They all want to go there, and they have the reasons for it. Naomi talks to Sonya Deville. She says, I'm tired. You always blowing me off. You never give me an opportunity. And remember, girl, I've been here longer than you, and I've accomplished way more than you. You've never been held gold in this company while I've been SmackDown champion twice. So she says, I'm going to get my match whether you like it or not. After that, all the legitimacy, she gets fined for being like this. Sonya Deville.
I mean,
It's fine. This is okay.
I was gonna
I'm
say
not
I
against
actually liked it because we saw some fire from Naomi, and I'm like, see, this is the kind of stuff I wanted to see when you were champion.
it. Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff I want to see when you're wrestling. This kind of emotion, and I mean, maybe they're getting her to ready to join the bloodline. Who knows? But I like this intensity. This was good, and see that would be good to. But see, now it's a heel, I would say, because I mean, even to go against Becky Lynch, I mean, that's an intensity I like to see. So we'll see where this goes.
The intensity is good, exactly. So like this was quick. The cracks are still showing for Dominic Mysterio and Ray. Ray was on commentary, as you guys can see in the picture. Sammy saying, like, I mean, we've seen this already 3 times. What's there to say? There's something to say. Like Sammy saying,
Dominic looked, he looked good. Ray's hyping him up. Ray was like annoying on commentary. Every time he screws up, he's like, "Oh no!" And every time he did something good, "Oh, I taught him that. And it's like, okay, dude. And Dominic goes up top. Sammy gets the knees up, and then he pins him 1, 2, 3 like right away. It's like, really, the knees is what did it. So it's like, I mean, this was
devastating. Yeah, no, like again, the cracks are. I think, like you said, I don't know if it's gonna turn into like the feud between the 2 of them, but it's gonna be, hey, Dad, I don't need you to stay away, leave. AEW 1 year, come back, legit, and then we're good. But maybe I don't know, but that you can see the cracks are like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So let's talk about like now the homecoming. Mayor Kane. We got to see Kane, or we got to see Glenn Jacobs. He was actually right there to give like Bianca Belair the keys of the city, and of course they have to do this. Whatever. Not really.
And then going over all her sports accomplishments and like singing like the national, not national
like
anthem, singing like the anthem of the area and stuff, and I'm like, this was just so cringy, and it was and it was so fake. If you wanted to celebrate stuff, it should have been like had all her awards. She won all these awards and stuff in school. Have pictures of them, or actually have the awards out there on the table. Present everything. Be like, oh, this is badass. Maybe even have her parents or one of her coaches out there. Okay, and then Becky Lynch interrupts. But instead, you had Glenn Jacobs, which. Okay, I mean, it was a cheap pop for Kane. That's all this was.
Oh, yeah.
What does Kane care? Kane's probably like, okay, whatever. They're like, oh, we'll pay you, $5,000. Oh, okay, legit. I'll come do it.
Because he's from the area. He's from Knoxville. Yeah. So, like, I don't know if it is the same city for both, but, like, he's in the area. So, he was close. He was nearby. So, it's like, hey, show up, do a favor. Be legit. Yeah, that's fine. So, like you said, Becky Lynch comes out. They have a word of words one more time. They said, like, hey, it's your moment. But in the end, Stream Rules is, like, going to be my moment. And Bianca goes, well, you don't even go here. And she's about to leave. And it's like, no, you don't leave right there. So he tries to go for the KOD. But Becky does the manhandle slam.
Yep.
And you say the rock bottom or the bookend? No. The manhandle slam, and she gets.
I mean, I'm fine with that. It's like a pump handle slam, but it's the manhandle slam. I'm fine with that. But when you think, okay, let me just say this: manhandle. What does that make you think of? Just manhandle.
Manhandle. Yeah.
So don't be grabbing my man. Don't be grabbing my manhandle.
But that's proper. That's politically correct to say that. Yeah, that's fine. And in the end, she gets, of course, the upper hand. That's fine. You to that. And like you said, she gets the upper hand for this one. Probably next week it will be the roles will reverse. Why? Because in the pay-per-view, we're gonna see the same picture, just with her like the wrestling attire. That's what it's gonna be. So that's the show we have. Like you said, like a little sparkles of good things, but in the end, it's really hard to watch 2 hours of that. I can really tell you that Rampage was as bad. So I don't know which show you pick on a Friday night. If it is on a Friday, give me better rest.
The show you pick on a Friday night is you and your buddies going out to drink, having a bonfire, doing something, fun. That's what you pick on a Friday night.
Exactly. And instead of watching these shows, but we do it for every single one.
And then when you're done hanging out and you come home, know what you do? You go onto YouTube, under the original rope break, and you watch the Smackdown review.
Yeah, no, that's what you should do. That's what like everybody with like a few cells right here will do. There you go, and you follow us on YouTube and the original rope break and where else.
And then it's Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And like we said, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Exactly. And you and me only have one more thing left to say, and that is...